Hello, everybody, and welcome to Chat with Nene Alice. If this is your first time tuning in to Chat with Nene Alice, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to send in your comments. Viewers, if this is your first time tuning in to Chat with Nene Alice, there is a notification bell at the corner that you can just click so that you'll be the first person to get the videos whenever I post them. And I also want to welcome you back to the studios. Today we have in our midst Habib Kamara, the Executive Director for Social Linkages for Youth Development and Child Link. And Habib's work is centered around drug reduction, rehabilitation treatment, particularly for young people who are going into drugs. And because we have the issue of KUSH all over us in this in these years that we are living, in the days that we are living, it's of a serious concern. So I thought I can come with Habib, who has extensive knowledge working with young people in terms of reducing drug abuse, treatment and rehabilitation, and maybe talk about some of the laws that are in place or conventions. So Habib is here so that we can have that conversation. So Habib, I want to welcome you today in our studio, and thank you so much that you able to give time for Kanaya. You want to say a few words to people the way they listen to we under so that
I just want
wait I don't left me any
yeah,
talk.
I just want to say thanks for this opportunity for when we use this platform for reach out to Sierra Leonean population, more especially this KUSH pandemic we don't in this country. For we KUSH now a public health emergency now, we government need for take because we all see. And again, happy for me this medium host me because they do about gender issues. Women, when they use this KUSH, then they don't increase. If we not take time in this country, that population, the sexual reproductive health system, and we will get a lot of diseases then at the end we will not call for because KUSH we all don't see videos the way they out right now in the country where they tell people they say this not to no more an urban drugs. It don't escalate to the rural settings. And we don't see them back, we don't very challenging, it don't go into security forces. The one they were supposed to protect life and property, now they say they this thing. So we need to have that multi-sectoral approach in terms of dealing with this present day KUSH in this country. Because it's a win-win society. More especially, we need to concentrate on the supply route. Now KUSH used for Canada, this country, but KUSH is no longer coming. They are now manufacturing KUSH in Sierra Leone. And that more now, the overdose. Now every day don't they kill people there. For me, my agency will do what we call harm reduction. Harm reduction, it is to reduce the harm from the drugs. And we get some, right now, we're on the HIV response program with the national HIV response in the country where they reach out to injectors. We have some set of drug users who they inject. And in 2019, March 3rd, we introduced what we call harm reduction, supplying needles and syringes to the drug users because we do not want them to share it. If they share them, research don't tell we say 75% of people who inject drugs will share needles, then prone for get HIV, then prone for get hepatitis. So we need for really plan now as a government, as a nation, how to tackle this drug. But all along, we missed it as a country when the war done in this country. We get a TRC report, they say 85% of those that fought the war in this country were drug users. By them, we just concentrate of demobilizing or reintegrate them back to society. We will not deal with the drug problem we get. As we speak, this country do not have a rehab center for drug users.
Let me interrupt you. You know, most of the time when they talk about drugs, we just they talk about people that where they on drugs. And most of the time that they arrest people them where they on drugs. They're not they look at the supply route. And if you don't work all these years and taking us back to even after the war, you don't day into this work here. Waiting, we're not able to identify the supply routes there. So
the supply route is much, and law enforcers they know, like the present trend of how this drug they go on in this country. I'm blaming the law enforcers to enforce that part of that law because the supply route now in this country in Jamaica, I just coming from Book Feast. I come on Star TV. My way coming Morgan Lane. You see picking and they don't have street guys, both men and women under influence of KUSH. So me to this thing, me always they say it is now a public health emergency that this country needs to act a multi-sectoral approach. More especially again, we approach and strategies. One, facilities where the manufacturers then now people then get in houses then now people then we get in company. We need to put a plan out now. Anybody where they use your house for selling thing and that person, government need for seize in place first. Because this thing only go on now. People are that they make gains, when are personal gains on the expense of the life of the young people then. And KUSH Natiwe very addictive, where you don't begin to take less than 1 week. For me, you left again. It's not easy. We don't get rehabilitation, we don't get medications where for able destabilize or distrust the one the way they take this KUSH. Now, and war on drugs, they just target the users. For we, the users need a public health attention and not incarceration. Taking somebody where just you meet her with one sling or one with yourself, you go hold and you forget the supply route. That person they go to Pademba Road and they come up na Pademba Road as a hardcore criminal. Yes. And in 2008, we get a law where we passed for drug use, for drug-related control. Where we will not be get any drug-related control acts in this country. We all know where the cocaine plane be land from Venezuela, where can this country. Where the then government and the then parliament rushed for giving an act under a certificate of emergency. We not even talks. It talks about harm reduction is being criminal. So to we from that time with that act come on, we always don't talk about review. Now we don't see now that we sister themselves now don't get this appetite for this drug now.
So what's in the reason where you don't work with young people them and I know say you get information. Any of them where now users of drugs don't ever tell you say now this reason or now that reason make are they into drugs?
Yes.
What's not some of the reasons?
The reasons: one, peer pressure, single parenting, and families them way not able to cater for them and peer pressure. Again, it combats again. Some people they not get livelihood. Who say then they friend with yourself? We do clean no more than sit down around. We then see this them friend with yourself. Like I was at SFBC and Star Radio. I catch somebody when where they take this KUSH. They say, well, the KUSH will take her, will not think about anything. Like more for the females when they take her, na sexual perversion more than they get, and then they go into sex without using condoms. And this year, April, the National HIV pool statistics about people who are presently positive with HIV is about 78,000 people. That is 1.8. And we only have 34,000 that are on treatment. The balance is inside the young population. So you see the risks where the country they go.
Okay, so you talk about the law where them give certificates of emergency, where states say the harm reduction it gets a negative. Governments go punish people them where they do harm reduction. I just want to follow you make it clear.
Yes, it not talk anything. It's silent on that area. It just say harm reduction practiced by them. It not be what say. But in 2013, we did a population size estimate where inform we had to reach out to them people that they funded by the Global Fund through the Office of the National HIV. Now, and HIV, there is a global standard that in 2030, it should not be again a public health threat, but you know for left any population behind. More especially population than way they do an act with criminal. You know for left who that they call the people who use drugs. You know for left female sex workers, and you know for left people in incarceration and the MSM, men that make sex with other men. Okay. And these are the populations when are the driver of the pandemic.
All right. So what's I want for also ask now that we also see say the institutions the way for protect we don't get evidence then a social media we all they see them where we see them then all they under the influence of KUSH and other institutions they are so supposed for enforce their laws there. So waiting as your organization how una don't work with maybe the military or the police for ensure say this thing here so that we were able to put her under control?
I just write a concept note yesterday to the military and the police. I want them to facilitate me for me to be able to reach out to all military facilities in terms of reaching out to them with harm reduction and demand reduction messages then. And this is really scary. Now few we see with the capture. But when you go into hideout, you meet soldier man or policeman, and they are dropped, then they sleep by themselves. And the scary thing, that they carried arm. I see one clip this morning where make us scared. There was a SSD officer, whole gun, a sit down with some soldiers and some police then. They're under KUSH. So, people were supposed to take care of life and property. If they say don't go into this thing now, it can be very scary. More especially for we picking them. More especially where I did a radio back today, there was a call that the things don't go to schools. We really get for act more. More especially you ain't get this program when they walk along that line. When I get on an ADD program, start getting schools. It is more necessary now for more rich to their schools than now and start this thing here. Because catch them when they are young. When they are young, anything we them see that they become appetite for use them till the day. And if example, you and Peking come here when I go China, that Peking a small Peking, I first go talk to Chinese. It just start like drugs now. If they don't begin take them for me, then left them, it's not easy. So this country we really need for more forget about lip services about drug-related issue. What again I mean survey, what again I mean study in the voters registration, we will make with teams then I would 6 district them, we will reach out to hideouts them 4. Talk to young people for men and go vote. Men and go register. But could not go. So the voter apathy in that population has to be there in these elections coming. Again, this is now festive season. We don't see how the trends don't increase. After Christmas, we are getting to election. Where is this country going without this drug?
Okay, so what's I want for ask you? I remember back in the days, like in the early 2000s, where they made try for transform ghettos into vocational institute. Then they do them program. Then they will like where they do a rehab program, because most of the young people that they tell we say now because I not getting for do, now because I know people they not get money, will not get anything for, and I make a day into them. So they make so then centers they still there.
Now one center was still there, Firestone, but the other one they degenerate because of government. They give some stipend, they give some financial support, but where it go. But Firestone they see as an opportunity, they begin put themselves the money inside it. People within that community, they begin grow up now. But my sister, this drug-related issue, more agenda with itself, really get for calm. You say get for team up on the advocacy with regards female that use drugs, women that use drugs.
Okay, we they come together, but I just remind viewers and say we get Habib Kamara, when the executive director for social linkages for youth development and child link, where they do boku work around drug abuse, harm reduction, treatment, and even rehabilitation of young people that were into drugs. And KUSH now of a great concern to the organization, and they do a lot of work around it. So we get the pleasure today for Getter. What I want for ask again, Habib, now that we get conventions, UN conventions, or maybe AU convention or ECOWAS, then can charter then they for inform we on the work the way we they do, because even if the laws they're not they say, but then convention they for help we, for like we able put together a policy where we go present the parliament as a bill, where we go maybe for revise and it's repeal waiting be done, they will not they work and get a new one.
In 2016, there was what we call UNGAS, the United Nations General Assembly for Drugs. We be held in New York. We be get for all countries. There was 100 recommendations that was profiled for countries, which Sierra Leone is a signatory. And the beauty of that conference, countries then provide position papers, how they want to see drug-related issues for go. And the ECOWAS said we get a position paper for the 16 West African countries, and the AU said we get a position paper. So We don't sign on gas meeting. With this September we finished, there was a ministerial conference on drugs now Australia, and back they informed the ministers and back saying that's on gas and recommendations where harm reduction was part of. That be the number 2 thing, because we don't say the war on drugs. Even in America, we get billions of billions. The narrative or the approach them they take on war or drugs, they are just capturing those that were users. Now,
for deal with
deal with the witnesses,
with the dealers.
So now they say, let us decriminalize drug-related issues. We just see recently in America about 3 weeks ago, they want to all in a prison in terms of drug users. Then they don't begin pulling at prisons for may then go on the supply route and try for rehabilitate those people. As we speak, is sorry for this country because anybody will get drug-related issues there, he or she is being rushed to the KUSH psychiatric hospital, which is a missing link. We're supposed to get is
a rehab center.
The medication where they go use for the one that will get drug problem at the KUSH psychiatric hospital. For me, another drugs. Just as a investigative person, just go work around that center who make you see inhabitants within that parameters where the hospital is. The one that will go there for a mental health issue, we don't want to give them lagatine or their medicines, they become very violent because they know what that medicine they do with them. They depress them, they sleep whole day. But the one way they are drug problem now another area. So after they don't discharge them, we just decide they make shifts here now. I want to say thanks to ECOWAS. ECOWAS in the next 2 weeks they open a rehabilitation center at the KUSH mental home day where they don't provide about 40 bedrooms. But for we as advocates, that place so far, and that's not the only place where we get. Taking drug users to mental home is a stigma. Why it is a stigma? That place is for mental home. If I carry there for drug issue, people will say that they don't go to Christian. That stigma alone, they make them begin and not be able to access them place them day. There is stigmatization when it comes to psychiatrics or mental health related issue. We all know Dr. Naim is saying that this country, 85% of Sierra Leoneans get mental health issue. But now, in the way how the trend of the country they go, or the world narratives they go now, people are now on substance just for men and make themselves comfortable and men and make themselves
Mr. Habib, I can't stop talking to you because this is something within my heart we are really interested in. And I know say we'll get further engagements there on this. But lastly, before we go, viewers are also allowed now know say the law where we get now this country on mental health now 1912 then be right time. So you see say all them modern innovations the way they can now for treat mental health and anything related to them, you know even they now the act. So do you where they push for let them review that act or maybe repeal them in parliament? Do you allow we work hard and let we put all we answer together for make sure say we get a revised law or a new law on mental health. Before you go, I also want for, because you young people then like you and young people then can talk with you, then they confide in you and then they tell you things the way they unbug them and but couldn't left drugs because of your intervention at in life. You get any inspiration for the young people then, particularly the one the way want for left and the one the way they contemplate if they're for going to them, any message the way you want for give?
The message just short. Anybody will take KUSH for the next 1 year, you're not going to be able to live. Presently, the KUSH where they come out of this country. Because one, then they use formalin, when they take process dead people. Then they use fingernail remover. Then they use tramadol. Then they use the bone of person we don't die. All that now they mix in that. If you are small amount, you take plenty, then your nerves then go down. And you will get comorbidities of other sickness then. Me they say, before you go in, no good day, not take them. Because we get one approach who can say, now get to them, nothing for us without us. So, nothing is not there for una. If una go there, na money no more they make come now. And more especially, una back there young people them, when una na testers, they might not go to laboratory. They don't test them drugs, they don't make them drugs, and they you will force the tester, you die. We don't see them thing and we don't occur. Longly recently, na 5 person die one day for test drugs. So I talk to una, more especially the woman there. When I think about myself, when you take this KUSH, you mental judgment, you dey go do mommy and daddy business without even negotiating for condoms. More especially with tertiary institution. This day now, we don't take this KUSH for the water wey dem dey drink. So at the tell Sierra Leoneans, they say this present KUSH within at the world, that this Sierra Leone is not good for them, many diseased.
Thank you so much, Habib. It's a pleasure talking to you and viewers. We've been talking with Habib Kamara, the Executive Director for Social Linkage for Youth Development and Child Link. And we don't talk boku on the impact of KUSH on we young people them. And we will continue this conversation because we know say KUSH they kill with people them. So if this now your first time for tuning in to Chat with Nene Alice, not forget for subscribe, not forget for like, and not forget for share the video. Share the video so that you go reach as much people them as you want for let it reach. Thank you so much, and I wish you all a pleasant day.